So, Ariel Kebbel, thank you so much for speaking with us about that cliffhanger. That cliffhanger in the Marshall season finale. Let's talk about that.
Well, there's a couple, actually.
Well, your particular one,
yes,
though.
Yes.
I mean, talk about shooting that scene and what are your hopes for how that ends up?
Yes, it was, I loved reading the season finale. I mean, there was so much build up to it. And I've talked about this before. Spencer's so great at, he's so collaborative. And so like going into a season, I'll ask him, okay, what are the key points I need to know? And then outside of that, I really love being surprised by the script and working with it in real time and digesting. And so when we got the finale and I saw what happens to Cal and Belle, I was like, oh, and someone asked me, were you ever worried? And I was like, is it weird that I wasn't? But it was only because it wasn't like I was like, oh, I got this. It wasn't that at all. It was two things. It was, I'm so used to Belle being in compromising situations at this point. I feel like it's almost kind of a little bit of a character trait. Like she gets hurt a lot and also keeps going. So it was no means like I felt safe. It was more like I felt like it was almost the perfect ending to how she spent the season, which is just like always having these oh shit moments and you just have to find your way through it. And I really thought in that moment, like, where are they going to go with Cal? Because he's in front of me a little bit and the gunman is right there. And we purposely end without knowing. And so that was kind of more where my brain went. It was like, okay, so God willing, we pick up for season 2, which we're lucky enough to have a season 2. I was wondering, like, what does this mean for the two of them? Do they both make it out unscathed? And since he is in front of me, if one of us goes down, how do we get out? Because you don't want to leave your teammate, but you've got active gunfire. And, throughout the season, I hadn't actually been in a situation like that yet, or Belle hadn't been in a situation like that. So it was fun for me to kind of ask these questions internally. And the truth is without knowing the answer. And so what I can say for season 2 is we definitely pick up right where we left off. They are not unscathed. And I loved that it ended on such a huge question mark.
Yeah, a huge question mark for them, as well as will they lose their lives? But also, we've seen these characters come together this season, so they have this huge emotional story that they're going through as well. Yeah. They shared that drunken kiss.
Yep.
What does she want from him? As far as an emotional connection, what does she want from him?
Well, first of all, I want to say, going back to that scene for a second, what I loved about it was when we're at the car jocking up, they do have an emotional moment. And to Logan's credit, who plays Cal, it was already written on the page, but that little kind of hand thing that he does where he pulls me in and we have that eye contact, that chemistry, he really wanted to play with that. And I give him so much credit for, I feel like, creating even more chemistry than was already written, because he's really wonderful to work with that way. Like he's always wanting to play and explore. And it reminds me a lot of like theater almost working with him, because he always kind of wants to try new stuff and it doesn't always work and he's open to that. But then because he's playing so much, there's a lot that does work. And so I give him credit because we go from that moment where you see like, what do these two want from each other? To we go around the corner, they think it's just an everyday knock and it turns into live gunfire. And so I thought that really elevated the whole twist.
Absolutely.
At the end. Yeah. And in terms of like, what do they want from each other? What does Belle want from him? I think what's so special about these two characters and what Spencer has written is they're not your typical love interest story. And it's not black and white. It's not, are we in a relationship? Are we not? There's these moments where they let each other in and they maybe understand each other's wounds a little bit, but they also still have a lot that they haven't shown each other, specifically Belle. Belle has a lot of secrets she has not shared yet. And what I love about these two characters is it's undefined. And I actually haven't played a character like this where the relationship piece is still so undefined. And I like that they're okay with that.
Yeah.
I think we don't see that often.
Well, you talked about her secrets, and we know she has a gambling issue.
Yes.
But she comes from a moneyed family, but still she likes to gamble. So will we see more of that coming up?
Per Spencer, we should. Yes.
And where do you think that comes from? I mean, it's not like she wanted for anything growing up, yet she likes to gamble.
Yes.
So can you reflect on that aspect of her character a little bit?
Well, yes, she grew up in an affluent family, but also, so she had a lot, but they also lost a lot. So it's not like their financial circumstances today are what they were when she was growing up. And also, you know, she lost her dad, as we learned in season 1. She has an estranged, very hard relationship with her mom. And I think that talking about that push-pull with Belle, it's like, okay, so when you grow up in a family that has money and political ties and therefore power in this kind of, you know, in a small town where land is everything, you have to put on a sort of, you're asked to put on a certain face, you know? And so what happens behind closed doors in a family is not what happens in public. And so where do you channel all of those emotions in between when you can't fully be yourself, when you can't fully tell everyone what's happening? Truly, where do you go? It goes to some sort of addiction, right? It can be, and not all addiction is necessarily bad or good. It kind of depends on where you are in your process.
What's a good addiction?
Horses. But you know what? I'll tell you, it's expensive.
It is an expensive, yes, it's an expensive addiction.
Yeah.
But it is, I agree with you, it's a good addiction.
So it just depends. Yoga, you know, but everything in balance. But what I'm with her is like, where could she funnel all of those emotions, especially feeling like she didn't have, you know, it's not like she could turn to her parents. Right. So where does she go to navigate? She turns to external devices.
I want to talk about the other big cliffhanger, which was, oh my goodness, Casey's son is being taken away.
Oh, Tate.
I mean, what?
How many times can he get kidnapped? We love Tate.
We do love Tate, but yeah, how many times?
Many times.
And, okay, so in your mind, for season 2, how far would the team go to get Tate back?
You know, Cal has this great expression, one is none, and it's an ongoing theme. And one of our overarching themes of this entire show is family and fighting for family. And so when it comes to Tate, it's everyone is all in, guns blazing. I mean, and especially where we get into tricky water is, I think there's no question we will stop at nothing to get him back. But I think we really know that Casey will do anything and everything he can. And so the real question isn't how far will you go to get him back? It's where do you get in hot water with the law? Because justice doesn't always equal law-abiding citizens.
That's right.
And there we have a TV show.